Hey soldiers, let's talk about how to become wealthy, okay? In this society, what you need to do in order to become wealthy. Now, the reason I want to take the channel into a slightly different tempo here is because a lot of people are hurting. Let me tell you a brief story about a woman I met who used to be a journalist up in the northeastern portion of the nation. She was doing very well in life. Today she's homeless and she's elderly. She's sleeping on the streets. She's sleeping in her car, right? She has been in some very bad situations. Okay, the state that she's in says technically, if she has a car, she can't be qualified as homeless. All right. She has vouchers for different shelters and things like that. But when I talked to this woman, it became very evident, and she was very forthright, and she wasn't blaming anybody. She said, look, I worked a good job. I just didn't know what to do with my money. And before I knew it, the confluence of events, including, bad health and some other things occurred, and I lost my home. And, one night I was in my car sleeping. And this is a woman, mind you, said that she slept in her car homeless that first night at the age of 62. She is older than that now. This woman is outside of her prime earning years. She worked a job where she was a journalist. I can tell you that. She was a journalist, okay? And the situation that she's in now is very, very tragic. So this is part of the reason why I am passionate about building wealth and sharing that information. Listen, you've got to build an ark. Right now, the rain has started, okay? Don't be like those people who were laughing at Noah. Oh, what you building that ark for? Everything will be all right. No, everything's not going to be all right. And you know why? Everything's not going to be all right because we're looking at automation. It's going to take more and more jobs. It's not going to take every job, but it's going to take some jobs. We're looking at a change in terms of the solvency of the US dollar. We're looking at Social Security, not being able to pay benefits when people need. We are all going to get old here, right? But today, we can make a change and start doing something that's going to help us build actual wealth. And that's what we're here to talk about today. So number one, what's a way to make some money? Okay, what's the number one way in terms of the most people doing it? The number one way to make money in America, I dare say the world, is working a job. Now, work is honorable. Working is honorable. I have worked jobs, 9 to 5, W-2 employment. At many points in my life, I started out working a job as when I was in high school. Worked at McDonald's. I made wooden toys. I worked. I don't have anything against the W-2 employee because the reality of it is, if the W-2 employee disappeared tomorrow, then the whole world would come to a screeching halt. Another reality, though, is as a W-2 employee, as an employee working that job, you are making money based on your time. You are trading your time, which is your most valuable, non-renewable resource. You are trading that for discounted dollars. Just understand that. That is an epiphany that I had at one point in my career. I had a career, okay? I was out there representing a company, a Fortune 500 company in Washington, D.C. Okay, I worked for that company for 14 years. And then I woke up and I had an epiphany. I saw several things occur that showed me, you know what? I don't think I'm being best served financially in this arrangement. That was for me. So understand that. That's a way to make money. Go out and get a job. But understand you are never going to build wealth working for a job. Yeah, I know you probably know a couple of people with $1 million or $2 million in their 401k who worked a job. I do too. But guess what? Once healthcare starts to, rear its ugly head, oh my God, healthcare is so expensive. That's one of the things that put that woman that I was talking about earlier into a situation where she's homeless. She couldn't keep up with healthcare cost. You got $2 million sitting in a 401k or an IRA? Congratulations. Don't get sick, because that can be wiped out in an instant. What's the number 2 way to make money? Well, I'm participating in that activity right now. I'm trading information for money. On this channel, which is monetized, I get on here and I give you guys information that I believe is important. It's going to help you in your life. And in return, YouTube puts ads on my information, and they pay me a portion of that ad dollar. Okay, so I am trading information for money. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that as I'm recording this thing is probably outlive me. Okay, this thing will hang around for 30 years, 40 years. All right, it's in cyberspace now. And as long as I have this arrangement with YouTube/Google, where they're going to pay me every time someone watches an ad on this video, then this thing can hang out there for 10 years. I'm still getting paid. I only did the work once. All right. So understand how in today's society, where information is more accessible than ever before, figure out a way to trade some of the information that you hold for dollars. Now, I've said it on another report. Listen, you do not have to be an expert in order to share your information. Okay. I was a volunteer firefighter for a while, and every single firefighter, if you ask 5 firefighters how to do a certain thing, a firefighting process, you're going to get 7 different answers. Okay. Because all of these guys know a different way to do it. You don't have to be a board certified expert to come out here and put your information into the world and be compensated for that. I gave an example of doctors and how doctors are called practicing physicians. They're never going to be an expert because they're participating in the practice of medicine. Now, you can look at some of the finest lawyers in the world, in the nation, and they're practicing attorneys. They have a law practice. And the reason they have a practice is because things are always changing. There's never going to be anybody that's an expert, but that does not stop that attorney from making a lot of money in certain cases to represent clients, right? All right, number 3, provide a tangible product or a service for money. Now, this one you've got to be careful about. But if you can figure out something that the world wants, a tangible product the world wants. For example, what's the name of the shoes? Well, let's not go with them. Let's go with Jordans. Okay. Jordans have remained popular long after Michael Jordan. They've been popular for more years than he actually played in the league. Okay. So that's a product that, in conjunction with Nike, he's been able to market, make a tremendous amount of money off of. Now, that product is not just any pair of tennis shoes, or depending on where you are in the country, sneakers. It is backed by the personality and athletic prowess of Michael Jordan. But you know what? Today, it's just easier than ever to put your personality out there and back a product with that. Love her or hate her, that's exactly what Kim Kardashian has done. She's famous for being famous and has put items out there for sale based on her persona and personality. Listen, you might look at Instagram and say, how in the world do these people have so many followers? Good question. Try to figure that out, because you could actually market a product or service based on your persona and popularity. It's easier than ever to do it because of platforms like Instagram, like YouTube, for example. With YouTube, little old me in this small, teeny, tiny financial news and education channel, we've got a global audience. I don't even know who you would have gone to in the 1990s to obtain a global audience. But I know if you could have found that individual or company, I know it would have been in the millions of dollars in order for them to put you out there in front of a global audience. I talked to people from India, from the UK, from Canada, all over the world, Australia, that watch this channel. Blows me away. I thank you all for that too. Like, subscribe, share if you haven't already. All right, so you can provide a tangible product. But what I said with that is you got to be careful, because if you're not careful, you could turn that into a job. You could be in a situation where now you own the job. Whatever product or service you are providing needs to be leveraged such that you are taking advantage of the fourth way to build wealth, which is using other people's time. Okay? Time is a non-renewable resource, the most valuable non-renewable resource. Some people might have thought I was going to say leveraging other people's money. No, time is more valuable than money. I could lose $5 tonight and gain it back tomorrow, no problem. Okay, but 5 minutes, I'll never get it back, ever. I don't care how rich I am. So you got to leverage other people's time, and that is where you flip the script and go from employee to employer. And look, you don't even really have to be an employer per se. You can contract with other people for the use of their time. Okay, I've done that with the service Fiverr and had people do things based on their knowledge of computers and technology that I didn't have, but I was able to pay them to do it. I didn't have to employ them, so I didn't have to pay payroll taxes, unemployment tax. I didn't have to do all that. Okay, so if you can put yourself into a situation where you are leveraging other people's time in order to perpetuate your product, your service, then you are really off to the races in terms of wealth building. And as a bonus, if you're able to then incentivize those people by getting them on the same road that you are, by showing them how to do what you've done and enrich their lives, then you're really going to be changing the world at that point, and not just going to be building wealth. So this is the first in a revision of the tempo of the channel. We're still going to cover news, but we're going to do a lot more in terms of practical financial tips. And so if you want to go out there and you want to make some real money, okay, we already know that a job is one way to make money, but a job is never going to pay you what you're worth. It's not designed to do that, all right? It's designed to have you work at a discount. Because the other thing about a job is this: the less in terms of specialization that job has, the less it's going to pay. So if you are employed by, a hospital and you are their chief cardiac surgeon, you're going to make a lot more money than someone who works for that hospital as a nurse's assistant, for example, because there are more people who can fill the role of nurse's assistant than there are expert cardiac surgeons or very, very competent and well-versed in the art of surgery on the heart muscle and the cardiovascular system. All right. So moving on, think about things, and you can combine some of these things also. So for example, you might have a service that you market via the information for money way to build wealth. Lots of people do that. All right. Every day of the week. Tony Robbins is one of those people. Okay. His motivational processes and his productivity messages have always been delivered in terms of information. He started out with cassette tapes. I had a few, okay, and they were well worth the money, okay, and they're still relevant. Now he's doing things online. Tony, P90X was another one that I had, the exercise program. Information packaged, service packaged as information. And they made a lot of money off of those things, okay? All right, guys, so look, take a look at this video. We're talking about some side hustles that you can get into right now, and one bonus one. We've got 3, but we got a bonus one on there. Some side hustles that you can get into right now. Some practical application you can employ to change your life for the better. Now, let me end with this. I want you to watch that video, but I also want you to know that you're not making extra money just to go and buy, depreciating liabilities. The goal here is to buy assets, all right? Buy more assets to increase your wealth. Guys, I'll talk to you soon.